we got to talk about some drama. Yes, Nicole, the drama of this week was insane. Ooh. The drama. We love the drama. So, if you don't know, on this segment, we like to just talk. We're going, you guys can please let us know what you guys think about these topics, but they are pretty interesting. All right, guys. It looks like the Steelers, they have a wide receiver who's not been doing great, but I also don't think that the quarterback, I mean, it's just weird the where they call him plays for him. But Pickens actually posted a tweet and basically had the Steelers paraphernalia, but basically ripping it down and saying, "Free me," right? The post was recently deleted, but it is out there. I mean, he's had a career low right now in his -1 yard on 2 catches in the Pittsburgh win against Tennessee. But what do you guys think? Should Pickens? I don't know if that's Steelers culture.
Yeah,
I never really heard of somebody coming out there, free me. But it was deleted. But what do you guys think? Kate, what do you think about that?
That's pretty. You don't delete the truth when you've already said what you wanted to say. That was his true gut reaction and his true gut feeling that he is tired of it. I think there's a lot of talented receivers that are tired of the situation they're in right now. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to go from a good team that had a really good quarterback and veteran quarterback, and now they're trying to get this new rookie or second-year player adjusted to a program. It's not easy. It's not easy. Not everyone can come in and do the things that some of these rookies come in and do, and some of these second-year players can come in and do. But he meant it. I think he really, truly meant it. I don't think he's sorry for it, really. He's doing what he needs to do to be politically correct, I think, in the moment. But in the heat of the moment, he said what he said and he did what he did. And I think that's his truth. And it's something he's going to have to talk about with the coach and the front office and say, look, what's going to happen here? Where do you see me? Where do you see this team? Because if it's not going where I think it should for me and my future, please consider trading me.
Very true. Very true. It definitely gets sticky. Delilah, what do you think?
It was on Instagram, and you know who else is on Instagram now? Us. The ladies, let's talk LTF ladies takeover. So maybe he was just clearing out space for us on his IG page. You gotta clear out that room to make room for better and bigger things. So maybe that was the case. That's all.
That's exactly it.
It was for us.
Nicole, you are so funny. That is exactly it.
Absolutely. I know he's watching.
The same thing. I do think the same thing. I feel like maybe this was a moment where I don't know if he should have just posted it and took it away like it was an accident. If it was meant to be, post it, be you. I mean, be bold. But they always feel like if they post and then take it off right after they think about it, or a publicist says, "Oh, that doesn't look good." They're gonna post it. That's how they feel. But it is something that it's a new quarterback. They're gonna have to get used to him. So I think he's gonna have to get comfortable because I don't see them getting rid of him. Sorry about my dogs, but I don't see them getting rid of him no time soon. What do you guys think? Tell us what you guys think. They said AB. Wait. But Tomlin also had AB, Juju, Claypool. He had Diva wide receiver. So he is used to this. Sean, you are absolutely right. Matt Canada, isn't it? Pickett is young and injuries riddled that team. Yeah, you're right, Sean. You're definitely right. I mean, it's just, you got to deal with it. I mean, you just got to deal with how the season goes. It seems like the wide receivers are getting vocal, though. Devontae Adams, coming out saying the same thing that he was saying. They guess they really want the ball, and I mean, I can't not be happy about that. They do want the ball. Be bold about it, but we got to talk about the second piece of the drama. Whew! So it looks like Josh Dobbs was able to come into the Viking Stadium and do his thing. Win the game off of his first game with the Vikings. Apparently, he had no conversations with the Vikings at all. Does Cousins lose his job if this really goes well? Does Cousins get traded to another team if, it is going to take a while for this Achilles to heal? Do you think if Josh Dobbs gets them into the playoffs, does he keep the job? Delilah, I see you shaking your head. You go first.
No, they're not gonna do that. I think the issue is that he has an Achilles injury, just like Aaron Rodgers, and who knows if it will even come back. But if Kirk Cousins was healed, if it wasn't an Achilles injury, and no hate on Dobbs, because remember last week we actually gave him a chance. None of us were critical on this show. We said it's possible to get the win, because I do remember that last week. That was Janae put the video and asked us about Dobbs. And we were not critical. We're like, yeah, it's possible because we've seen stuff happen before, you know what I mean? And they have a good coach and good players. Yep. So we never doubted that was possible. However, no. If Kirk Cousins didn't have an Achilles heel injury and had his injuries that he's had before that he heals back and comes back for, they're not going to bench him. And why would you? Because he actually was not why they were losing. Did you guys see his stats before he went down? Like he was always passing for like 300 yards. He was getting like 2 or 3 touchdowns a game. Why would you bench that? That's just unrealistic to me. Now, I do think that obviously now they saw some talent in Dobbs. I think they'll have him out there, especially because the backup has a concussion or something, right? I forgot. And so I think they're excited that a player that didn't know his teammates' last names, not his fault, he just was signed, went out there, was like five days with the team, didn't know everybody's last name, didn't know all the plays. And so that's impressive, okay?
That is impressive.
That's like flying by the seat of your pants because they're like, listen, that's it, man. That's who we got. I know you guys didn't even get to practice because they didn't even get to practice together. That's literally how.
No, they didn't.
He got on a plane from Arizona, came to Minnesota, didn't get any training, didn't meet all of the players because, like I said, he didn't even know a lot of the players' last names completely, and didn't get to practice many of the schemes. And so I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed that he pulled out that win, So kudos to that.
Absolutely. That was crazy. All right, Kate, what you think?
I was really impressed with Josh Dobbs. I thought he was composed. He was cool under pressure. He went out there and did the job that the Minnesota Vikings brought him in to do, and that is help them win football games. And I just was getting a kick out of the fact that there he is on the sidelines teaching them his snap count right before he goes out there to play with them, and he goes off and wins that game for them. And I look at, when Trey Lance went down and then Jimmy Garoppolo went down, you had Mr. Purdy come in, and you had Cooper Rush come in for you guys when Dak went down. It's possible that these players can come in and really help an organization and be a critical role for their teams. I mean, you can't always say that because you're the backup, you're not the best.
Yeah.
And look at what has happened in San Francisco. I mean, Purdy's earned that starting job. I mean, I don't necessarily think with knowing they just extended Kirk Cousins recently that he's going to be benched all of a sudden for Dobbs, but maybe Kirk comes back and isn't the player he was pre-Achilles injury. So maybe they do keep Josh Dobbs around and take a chance and a risk on him. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that, because you never know. Once the original backups healthy, will they go back to him?
Right.
What are they going to do? It's a crapshoot. So I say keep him around because I definitely think he did a very good job, and I was very impressed with him.
Absolutely. Nicole, what you think?
I think it's a good opportunity for the team to make and develop some depth with their backup players. Luckily for him, his position doesn't require much running. And that, it's not his arm, it's not his fingers, that he can still be able to have those throwing muscles and stuff. That if he's well protected, uh, doing it on one leg, as we've seen last year in the playoffs with someone going and remotely doing that with maybe was it Mahomes? I can't remember, but
Yeah, it was Mahomes.
yeah, in his position, it's not that much that he can take that time to heal, and they can, um, develop Dobbs, and I think keep both of them.
Yeah, I understand. I totally agree. All right, so Sean said Kirk Cousins' contract ends after this year, so they may not have extended him. He might be looking to see what the market looks like, but the Vikings would be foolish to get rid of Cousins for Dobbs.
Yeah.
So we basically were all.
I agree.
I would say, yeah. Dobbs might get traded in the offseason. So basically, they said it could be value if he does good. He could get traded. That's a good, John. Johnny said Dobbs is one of two players in the NFL history to throw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns for 2 different teams in the same season. Wow. Well, I think he's going to score some. Yeah, I think he's going to score some more touchdowns. As bizarre as the Viking season has been, they're only 1.5 games back from the Lions for first place in the NFC North. They still have to play each other twice. Wow. I didn't even realize that, but you think about it. What if they do it? I mean,
that is true.
I only mentioned it because I basically said, what if it turns out to be a great situation? Like you do like Purdy. You win out. Like, how do you got to maybe figure something out for Cousins if that's the case? I don't know. I know you said that it could be crazy, but to think about if he does do good. The problem with Kirk Cousins is like the Dak Prescott, they just can't get over the hump. What if they do get over the hump?
I don't know. I mean, good point. But
good point.
But okay, I get your points, but if we're going to San Francisco, the starters weren't stars. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Whereas Minnesota,
I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know if it's
that's
gonna
all.
work.
I feel like it's different levels of quarterbacks. Like, say whatever people feel about Kirk, he's never there. He's always playing above doesn't he get like thousands of yards every season? Like, you know what I mean? So it's not him. That, you know what I'm saying? So that's the part that's a little different. Whereas those quarterbacks in San Francisco previous to Purdy were not getting those types of yards.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Cousins is usually in the top 8 of quarterbacks most seasons.
That's true. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad situation to have. You have Kirk Cousins.
No, absolutely not.
If you could get, high value for a great quarterback. I mean, it all depends on how the
Cardinals must be so shooting themselves in the foot
now. Night.
Oh, Arizona, what did you do?
Oh.
But fun fact, Josh Dobbs, they say, has photogenic memory.
Oh, get out of here.
The coach said that it's like he has photogenic memory, basically.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
That makes more sense now as to how he probably looked at a play and went out and could do it that quickly. Thank you for that, because that helps.
Yeah, that's true.
It's an asset.
Very true. Very true. All right, so one more topic. Got to get to it. Big drama in the Jets land. So you do see Aaron Rodgers out there throwing the ball, looking pretty good for having Achilles tear and then getting out there after surgery and looking good with the long throws, 50 yards, 60 yarders. But the topic today is on the quarterback on the field. And Zach Wilson has been a topic of conversation with his coach. The coach was asked about why they won't put, I believe it's Will Levis behind him. Why won't they put him in and see what happens? And it basically it kind of came off in the interview like he was saying that I plead the fifth, basically. I basically don't really want to answer, but it kind of looks like that's like is it management? He did come back out and say in an interview, it may have been misconstrued, but there's no controversy or whatever. But to say I plead the fifth when you're asked on a radio show about it, doesn't that sound kind of sticky when, you're basically saying that you're going to ride for this guy, Zach Wilson, who's really not just doing great. I don't really think many people would do amazing, but they're not doing really great now. And it looks like they could put the backup quarterback in just to see what happens. But what do you guys think about the fact that Zach Wilson is not doing great and they could end up falling into a top tier situation where they could get a good player, like in the draft, a good quarterback? I mean, that whole situation, Aaron Rodgers, all the money you've dedicated to him, you've got to do something with him. Zach Wilson, we don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is going to come back looking the same, but Zach Wilson, should they put in the backup? Like, what do you guys think? Nicole, what do you think?
I think I was just researching on these guys. These are young gentlemen in the in America. And Zach, so from my understanding, wheels started clicking with Will Levis. I remember that, yeah, Will Levis ended up going to the second round of the 2023 draft this year. And it was a big kind of a little bit of an uproar, upset of, but he is in the game too as well. I think that they're better off with Mr. Wilson, just based off interceptions.
Trevor Siemian. That's what. No, it's actually Trevor Siemian. I messed up. It's not Will Levis. It's Trevor Siemian.
Trevor.
That's who it is. But still, the same point.
Same goes. I still ride with Zach, though. I was just about to say that I still think that they're gonna go and ride with him. I do apologize, but yeah, I think
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think all players are gonna look like this, so I don't really see anybody coming in as quarterback changing the game. But Kate, what do you think?
I think the drama started in the pregame when one of the players that from the other team came up to Rodgers and said they were talking. He goes, "So when are you coming back?" And Aaron Rodgers says to him in the camera, and the mic caught him, and he goes, "A couple weeks." And he's talking about coming back literally in a few weeks, that he might be playing within the month. And if that's the case, maybe Salah's riding out Wilson, thinking if the doctors are going to release Rodgers back sooner than they are planned and it's safe for him to come back, he's like, I'll just ride with Wilson if my QB1 is coming back, is going to be healthy enough to play in a few weeks, because he was caught on Hot Mic saying that. So my theory is he's riding this out because he may know more than we're being led on to believe about Aaron Rodgers' return, that it may be more imminent than we're originally thinking with this injury he had. So I think Mr. Rodgers is going to be back in his neighborhood sooner than we think, and so he's riding this out.
Wow. Whoa. Drops the mic on that. Delilah, what do you think?
Sorry, I was unmuting myself. Okay, so I agree with Kate, I think it has to do with Aaron Rodgers. Every time I feel any decisions that the Jets are making always leads back to him.
Yeah.
They paid him all that money. Then he got injured. Achilles injury, which back in the day before modern science got so good, that used to be like you're done, right? Those types of injuries, there was a time where it wasn't just your season. That's it. Like you were out. Like there was no way you could come back from that, right? But because of how medicine has improved so much, how surgeries have improved on that, the physical therapy that comes with it, right? All of that is so much more advanced than it's ever been. It's possible to come back now. You know, I don't know if it's this soon that I would be surprised, because that really seems pretty fast for that type of injury, regardless of how good the surgeon is. It does seem that it's really soon. But I agree with Kate. If the doctors give the all clear, they're gonna bring Rodgers back in, because look at this, not just because of Aaron Rodgers, but because of the contract he has, and fans have been livid about that, right? Jets fans have been. That they were more concerned about the money than when he actually went down with injury. Like that, you guys saw the memes, right? They're like, you better go out. They're like, you better tape up your Achilles and go out there. Like people were like upset, like they were upset. So I agree. I think that's really what it is. I think maybe the timetable for Rodgers has sped up, and so they're like, whatever, we'll just keep going with Wilson. Whatever happens. We're going to have Rodgers back in here soon enough. And they probably have enough confidence that he might be able to right the ship within enough time to get the win. You know what I mean? So I think Kate's onto something. I think that's really what it is. I think it always goes back to him. He might be coming back sooner than they think. And Saleh can't say that. He can't tell us that, So
that's true. It's true.